So we've got Hamont, good to see you, Hamont, and 2030 doors. We've got Hillary Graves, good to see you, Hillary, 2273. Tim Fergustat and 3,000 plus. Powell and 6,000 plus. Dave, Iggy, we call him Iggy. David Igowitz is in, what'd you just say, 2,500, something like that. Tyson, yep. Holy crap, dude. You've been on fire, 6,700 plus units. Welcome, guys. Appreciate you coming on, adding some value.
Thanks for the invite, Rod. Good to see you.
Absolutely. Good to see you, my friend. So why don't you guys just take a second and introduce yourselves, where you're from. Hillary, you're going to start, and I'll just let everybody know who's going to go next, and where you're from, maybe when you joined the program, and but be brief if you could, and just what your primary focus is. Like I know there's people in here, Powell does a ton of self-storage as well. If there's any other asset class you do beside multifamily, bring that up. So Hillary, where you're from, and maybe when you joined and what you're doing.
Sure. It's nice to see you, Rod. It's nice to see everybody. My name is Hillary Graves. I'm from York, Pennsylvania, and my background is
one thing. Talk about where you came from, because what you did prior to this, or what you're still doing while you're doing this. Sorry, Hillary. Please do that too.
Yeah, no worries. I came from a background of teaching music at a public school, and I am still doing that to this day. Probably one more year to make it to 25. But yeah, I joined the Warrior program in 2022. My husband and I did own 7 units before then, and we now own 10 units locally. Locally, we do Airbnb and travel nurse housing and a few buy and holds. And since joining the Warrior program, I'm mostly raising capital and participating on asset management with other people's deals, I kind of call it. I let them do all the heavy lifting and just kind of piggyback on people that are already successful and doing great things. And I get to be part of their team, and it's been wonderful.
Fantastic. Thank you. Hamont.
Yeah, hi everyone. Thank you, Rod. Thank you for having me here. So I joined the program in June of 21. My previous background is I was IT director in the healthcare domain. I wanted to do something else. Real estate was something I always wanted to do. And, without any previous background, I joined, I attended a similar boot camp, joined the program. In 3.5 years, I did 23 deals from 8 units to 300 plus units. Already sold 5 of them because of different reasons. But it's been a very satisfying journey, and I just want to end my introduction by saying that there are 3 things that everyone wants to look for. One is education, then comes your hard work and consistency in anything that you want to learn and grow in. And you all are here for the education piece, and if you join the program, the networking piece, which is very important to have a solid foundation. And I got all of that when I joined. So thank you to you, Rod, and the program, and to all my
Thank you for that. Thank you for that. Iggy, my man. Iggy had a mastermind with some of the other warriors, and I was blessed that they invited me to do a little dog and pony show there in Costa Rica. It was a lot of fun. Anyway, sorry, please, I'm stealing your thunder.
Well, thank you for going. We really appreciate it.
It was a lot of fun.
Well, so I guess I'm a recovering pediatric dentist now, and now multifamily real estate is my game. Southeast part of the country. Powell, who's on here, he was my coach. I joined in 2019, and he got me off to the races. He prevented me from getting into some bad deals, and he helped me get into some good ones. So that's what I got.
Wonderful. Thank you. Powell, good to see you, brother. How's the family?
Doing great, actually. Great to see everybody, Rod. And actually, it was my son's birthday just last week, so it was great.
Oh, wow, that's beautiful.
Great to have that. But yeah, I joined. I'm one of the.
Oh, you're an original, yeah. Like the vampire movies. Powell's an original.
Yeah, one of the originals. So back in 2017, we didn't have any of this back then, Rod. Remember, it was just Zoom calls, short, small groups. There was no one-on-one coaching. There was no boot camps. There was no in-person events or anything like that.
In fact, you probably talked to me to join, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. There you go.
Exactly.
There you go. Funny.
So started back in 2017. Previous to that, I was in sales, so corporate sales for Fortune 500 companies, and eventually retired from that in 2022. But started in 2017. I've done everything from finding deals to raising capital to running syndications to doing the joint ventures to being the main sponsors, KPs, all of that stuff. So
yeah, in fact, Powell brought that deal that I showed you when I was talking about speed of implementation. That was called Sunset Ridge in Dallas. It's now Millennium. That that the guy had run out of money and needed to, and we moved in and closed it quick. And Powell's in on that deal, so that's right.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thanks, brother. Good to see you, Tim.
Hello, Tim Fergestad. I'm here in Phoenix, Arizona. From Minnesota originally, and I'm a nerd. I went to school and got my PhD in neuroscience. And did that for a long time. About 10 years ago or so, I started investing full time and had to educate myself on all that and realized how crappy my traditional investments were. And I fell in love with real estate, did all sorts of real estate investing, and eventually took me a while, but I realized the power of scale. Tried to start doing larger projects and struggled. And that's kind of what brought me 5 years ago to the Warrior program. I started to realize there's a lot of resources as well as the network, right? It was one of the biggest things for me was finding teammates and so forth to start making real progress. And I needed boots on the ground. I was trying to do it myself in other spots. I just didn't have the experience and know-how and stuff. So kind of like Hillary, well, a little bit like Powell, I've tried to source deals, do the underwriting, broker relations, and wear different hats on different projects. But largely like Hillary now, I'm trying to let other people do the heavy lifting and try to focus on raising capital and educating and sharing these deals now.
Very nice. Now, just to give you an idea of how connected this huge group of people is, Tim's in my Nashville deal, so's Hamont. Tyson, you're in Regatta, right? Yeah, you're in Regatta, which is the sample deal I just showed you. And I mean, this is how connected, we are. So Tyson, go ahead and give your background and everything.
Sure. Thanks for the invite, Rod. Good to be here tonight. Tyson Cobb. I'm a recovering orthopedic surgeon. Left my group in 2019. Dropped back to 1 day a week. Was kind of expected my income to go down, and started investing in real estate, and found out I could work less, make more, and pay a lot less in taxes. So this is my new passion now. I think I joined after the Denver meeting, so that would have been the fall of 21.
Yeah, don't ask me. I can't remember anything, but okay.
We do a lot of multifamily. We do self-storage. We raised for a vineyard last year. We do some oil and gas, business roll-ups, hotels, so a lot of different asset classes.
Yeah, John sent me the paving thing you're doing. That's kind of cool. Well, let's get into it. So questions, guys. Let's see. Start throwing some. John, there's, I don't know, just under 2,000 warriors in the network right now. Let's see. Eric, your question about the program, just get on a call, buddy. Just get on a call with my Massive Action team. They'll answer all those questions, okay? Okay. Okay. Emmanuel Oso. Go ahead and ask your question.
My question is actually I thought I was gonna ask Ify, but any of them can.
Oh, that's fine. Well, ask the group, and somebody will help you with it. It's a good question, because I promise you're not the only one that has that right now.
My question is, as an immigrant, with my deep asset, I'm scared to death when it comes to fundraising issues. Can you tell me how I can overcome that fear?
So give me a hand if you're ready to answer. How you overcome the fear of fundraising. Okay, Hamont raised his hand first. Go ahead, buddy.
Yeah, Emmanuel, I came from the same background. I'm an immigrant. I was on the visa. Yes, visa, getting onto a green card, and when it came to capital raising, I had similar questions, and that's where the education comes in place. The bootcamp and the program has this critical piece about how you can raise money legally, and what's the right process to follow, and what are the guidelines that you need to be careful about. And I followed that to the T, and I have raised capital on every of the 23 deals that I have done. And, no problem at all. So that's what I want to leave with that.
So the group gave you the confidence that you had the game plan to do it. Anyone else want to add about dealing with the fear?
My question is, what is the difference between the entry and exit cap rates, and how do you determine them?
Great question. Who wants to attack that one first? Oh, come on, don't all jump at once.
I'll talk.
Go ahead, Iggy. Go ahead, Iggy.
All right. So entry cap rate you're going to get from your brokers, what's selling in the area, the kind of property you're buying, and so it's kind of it's a very objective stance. The subjective part is your exit cap rate, and that is, that is more subjective, and that's where you think the market is going. Almost everybody on this, actually everybody on this call is, underwrites conservatively. So we bump that cap rate on the exit, meaning we're decreasing the net present value of the dollars today in the future. So, we're making it worth less, basically.
Being very conservative. Let's hope we're wrong, though, right?
Yeah. We will be wrong.
Now we will be wrong. Is that what you said?
Yeah, we will be wrong.
I agree. I
underwriting
agree.
conservatively right now.
And we should be. Yeah.
Yes.
Great answer. So entry and exit. Hope that helped. Okay. And guys, this is what you do when you're calculating, your pro forma. You know what you're going to go in at as a cap rate, but you've got to calculate what you expect to go out in 5 years, and so that's the exit. Okay. Kevin McClenahan.
Howdy, folks.
Hey.
Kevin here in San Diego. Thanks so much for being on the call. What great energy and value over the weekend. It's just been awesome. So super inspired to join the group, and can't wait to start syndicating with some of y'all.
Fantastic.
Quick question. What role? I mean, it was attractive to what Hillary said and what Tim said. What roles are most sought after on teams? And, how can we kind of raise the flag and say, hey, we want to be a capital raiser. We want to be an asset manager.
Gee, I wonder what the answer to that one's going to be. Hillary, you're smiling. You get to answer it.
Take it. I think this is so common. Like, you learn this pretty early on. The two biggest, I think, ways to get into your first deal are to either find the deal or bring money to the deal. That's the easiest way.
Raise money to the deal, basically.
Raise money to the deal. Yeah. Well, I mean, some people do bring their own money.
Well, sure. Bring their own too. Yeah.
But, coming from a teaching background, my husband's also a teacher. We weren't going to put up $500K on a deal. So, had to go find it from other people. In my case, I was starting with looking for deals. I really thought I was going to do that because I love a good spreadsheet. And I was like, I can't wait to analyze deals all day, and I'm not afraid to call brokers and all of that. It was really hard to do that during the school year. And, I was still a teacher and teaching full time. So I realized just through conversation with some wonderful, experienced warriors that I could work with them and I could be on their team if I had capital to bring. And they said, yeah, we'd love to work with you if you can bring $500K or $1 million or something like that. And after hearing that a few times and from some people that I really wanted to work with, I just decided to do a 180 and stop looking for deals, basically, and just start looking for the money instead. Easier said than done.
Question. What did you go after? Because Hamont from the IT community obviously had a lot of connections from IT, used that experience. Iggy, did you go to the medical community?
Well, dental, yes.
Dental community, okay. And Tyson, I know damn well you went to the medical community, correct?
Yeah,
in a big way.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, and Tim, how about you? Did you go out and brand, or did you have a community from previous work that you went after? And then Hillary, I want you to answer what you did. Okay, a little of both. Okay, fair enough. So Hillary, how did you raise the money? Because school teachers are known to have big pocketbooks, which is a travesty in this country. Don't get me started about that. But just curious.
Yeah, so funny. I did actually reach out to a lot of teachers at the beginning. I sent a letter on Facebook to 150 people. Um, a lot of them were people I work with or retired teachers, and I'm thinking, yeah, they could use their IRA or something. I have not gotten one teacher to
Crickets.
invest with me. Not one. I had like they laughed though. They were like, "Ha, that's really funny. You think we have money on the side to
That's
invest in?"
why I'm asking you specifically. Now, by the way, before you answer the question, Powell, what about you? You probably had a lot of connections from your previous sales work. Yes, did you lean on that at all?
Sales, yeah, but I created a lot of my own network, right? I
Well, yeah,
started my meetup
you
group,
set up
right?
a meetup group, which
Yeah.
you had multiple meetup groups that I spoke at in California.
Yeah.
I remember that's a funny story. We can maybe digress to that. But Hillary, so what did you do? That's what I'm interested in because you didn't have that network and framework, and you've kicked ass raising money.
Um, I have done this with raising money, to be honest. But I've done okay. I I guess the first thing was just reaching out to people that I know. So that was
Okay.
it. Yes, there were teachers in there, but there were also people that are in my neighborhood,
Okay.
my
Okay.
community. One of my very first investors, random. I was friends with him on Facebook because I taught his kids piano lessons like 10 years ago. And so he saw my
So
message and said, "Yeah, I'm interested." So
you just looked under every rock, basically. You
he
looked
was my
under
first
every
investor.
freaking rock.
Yeah, I
Okay.
did. I
Okay.
called people, cold called. I go to meetups, real estate
Okay.
meetups mostly, and I found some people there. And then going on podcasts has helped.
Oh,
Just
okay.
like being a guest
Fantastic.
on other people's podcasts, and then that kind of leads people to my website. So it's been a amalgamation.
Fantastic. Fantastic.
Hey,
Fantastic.
Rod,
Awesome. Yeah.
Rod, can I expand upon that question? Because I think there's good stuff
Yes,
inside
please.
that question.
Okay, great.
Yeah. You know, when like I probably talked to Iggy about this back when we were doing coaching, but like I think there's three areas that are the primary roles that you're looking for inside of the syndication, right? And Hillary talked about the first two, finding the deal and raising capital for the deal. But what was also kind of mentioned in the question was asset management, right? And I'll just tell you, like of those three, I would say it is the first two that you want to come in with the strength of I can either find the deal or I can raise capital. If you come in and say, well, I'm really good at project managing and I'm really good at I understand budgets and things like that, and I can really help you on the asset management side, I just don't feel that that's like the path to that. Most people are going to bring you in
No, the two
as part
biggest,
of the
no,
team.
the others, the two
They're going to
biggest
try
are
to
the
put
others for
themselves in
sure.
that position, right?
Yeah.
And so I would say that's not where you want to. That's not where you want to say is your strength. But the other thing is just to a little bit about those first two is that if you're going to find deals, you have to be able to take the answer no a lot, right? Every one of the people on this panel have when they found a deal, it took them well over 100 deals that they looked through to find that one deal, right? So it might be like 200 deals. So you have to take this answer of no a lot, right? And keep going. And so you can't just go, well, I looked at 5 deals and then I didn't see anything that was good. You got to look at 200, right?
That's right.
And on the if you're raising capital side, what's really great is that you're kind of choosing deals that are already happening. So it's like, hey, that deal's already going, and there's already good people that are in it running it. Do I want to be part of that? And there's another deal, and so I'm choosing between actual deals that are happening and trying to figure out which one do I want to be part of. So
it's an easier path. It's an easier path, really, if you're willing to go out and talk to people. Now, you can also do it by creating reach socially, okay, on social media. You can do it. You can start a podcast, LinkedIn group, Facebook group, meetup groups. Powell, you were part of a network of, I don't know, 50 to 60 meetup groups around the country that you and Garrison put together at one time, a lifetime ago. So,
Hey, Rod,
okay.
if I can just piggyback one final part on that is
Sure.
Raising capital is particularly convenient when you're new because you can leverage other people's experience even more, right? You can't really leverage other people's experience when you're trying to underwrite things, when you don't know the right assumptions on expenses and taxes and all that in your submarkets. And so it's a lot easier to just partner with experienced people in that sense.
Great answer. Gareth Insole. So if you've got the question, other people probably do as well. Gareth, the broker question. You there, Gareth? Unmute, bottom left. Gareth? No? Okay. Well, his question was he's confused about brokers. Are there listing and selling brokers? Please clarify who writes the PSA, the purchase and sale agreement. You always want to use the listing broker because otherwise you bring another broker in the picture. You're not going to get another deal from that listing broker. So the goal is to build relationships with listing brokers so they send you their off-market deals. Okay? All right. I thought. Okay, done.
And generally, you as the buyer will write the PSA, right?
Well, you can't. Well, you have an attorney write the PSA.
You can try.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, you as the buyer will probably want to do that, though.
Right. Okay. Okay. Hold on. Anybody doing mobile home parks? Nope. Okay. Not on this panel. I've got lots of warriors that do, but not on this panel. Okay, sorry, I'm just trying to finding questions that'll help the group. Okay, David Fetter. Good question, David Fetter.
Hello?
You there, buddy? Yeah. Hey, how are you, man?
Good. Hi, guys. My question is, what's your approach and strategy when you're renovating multiple units in a building that has a high occupancy rate? Like if it's a, let's say, 30 to 100 unit building, how do you go about that if there's a lot of people living in the units?
And you're doing a value add in renovating units. So how do you go about it? Who wants to take it with a hand? Go ahead, Hamont.
Yeah, I mean, I'll add one point and then I'll hand it over to others to join. But the important thing is we always look at when are the leases ending. While we are underwriting in detail and towards the start of our operations, we always look at when the leases are ending. Do those tenants intend to stay back? Are those units something that we have considered as part of our rehab? And that's how we plan our rehab. And we always get whatever teams we have on site. We know our approximate period of the rehab, and that's how we make the lease out and lease in kind of schedules for those units.
Yep, you do it based on your lease expiration dates, and sometimes you ask them to move, but usually you just do it as they move. Anybody want to add anything, or is that pretty much covers it? Iggy, go ahead, bud.
That's how Hamont said it is basically how we do it. We do have a vendor, actually a friend of mine, who will do it and has done it in-house. Like, he can, if you have a building, David, that has 100 units and he'll renovate while the resident's living there. Yes, there's liability for that, but it saves a ton of money. The liabilities are obviously, something could happen to the resident's stuff. And also the resident knows that in the future, when they renew, their lease is going to go up, so they could damage the new equipment that's put in. But the advantage is when you go to flip it, and let's say they want to move out and you're doing, let's say, a $200 rent bump, you're now ready for that new resident to come in. So
have you actually done that, Iggy? No. Have you actually done that successfully?
No, but he's done it multiple times.
Okay, because I have a lot of angst around what you just said.
I know.
Okay.
All right. I'm just putting it out there as an option.
All right. Fair enough. Okay. Anybody doing new construction on this panel? No. Okay. So Corey, I'm not going to ask that question, buddy. Sounds like you find out. Okay. Okay. This is capital raising again. John Zhuang, Zhuang. Go ahead, John.
Yeah, my question was to, I heard from many other programs that people start raising money from their friends and families, which feels awkward.
Which is what? Did you say awkward? Did I hear awkward?
Right. Yes.
Well, that's just okay. I'm gonna push back and say that is your, respectfully, please, with respect, that is your opinion that it's awkward, but it's probably a hell of a lot easier than you may think. Now, do you want to dabble and raise money from friends and family? No. Now that's awkward when you have a Thanksgiving dinner and you've screwed up a deal. But anybody want to add some color to what I just said as far as friends and family? Or if you disagree with what I said, that's fine too. No?
That's totally where I started. I think you have to, as you pointed out, you don't want to dabble. You want to make sure that it's a good deal and you have a good team, good track record.
And you understand the business. You've taken the time to learn it. You've evaluated deals. You're not just relying on other people. Yes? Agreed?
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay.
And you don't really have to sell these deals. You just present them. I would just call and say, hey, this is something that I'm in. We still have some spots left if you're interested. And people are looking for good investments to get to.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
And I'd also like to add to that if you really know what you're doing and you're excited about these deals and passionate about it, you have to understand that you're doing people a disservice by not telling them and sharing it with them. That's kind of a mind shift for me that really helped, right? It's not awkward. You feel bad if you don't hound them about it a little bit, at least let them know it's an option.
Yeah. And I didn't mean to be disrespectful. You got to push through that fear, to push through that perceived awkwardness. And I will tell you again, competence builds confidence. And the more you play with this, the more competent you become, the more confident you'll become, and it won't be awkward anymore, my friend. Okay. Trey Morrison. Ready to go, Trey.
Can you hear me?
Great question. Yes, sir. Hey there.
I'm calling you guys. I'm doing good. How are you?
Fabulous. Glad you're here. By the way, for you got hundreds of people that are still here at freaking 5 p.m. Eastern on a Sunday night, success is inevitable. For you to hang in here and do this on a Sunday, and of course, love you guys for staying in here and adding value to these peeps. Just extraordinary. Anyway,
Yeah,
Trey, knock it out, bud.
Beautiful day here in Asheville, North Carolina as well. I wish I were
nice
out mountain biking, but sometimes you got to make a sacrifice. So
that's right.
Speaking of sacrifices, I own a software company and, basically full-time job, kids, the whole 9 yards. And I'm just trying to weigh out of my brain, how do I transition out of the job that I don't want to be in into the job you guys are doing that I do want to be in, and, still maintaining my family and, just, I don't know, it's scary basically.
He's wondering how he can do it all. Who wants to help him?
Yeah, how do I do it all?
And by the way, let me just add this. Don't quit your day job. You can absolutely do this and still maintain your day job. If anybody asks me, should I quit my job and do this full time? My answer is always no. And the reason being is because fear can pop up and it'll lock you up. Fear locks you up. And you can absolutely do this with a full-time job and kids and a spouse and still be present. But who wants to help him get past this? Go ahead, Iggy.
Well, Trey, first you got to look at how many hours a week you're working and what time are those hours. Usually, so I don't know if he answered or if he's already gone. Because that's a big piece. You kicked them out already? Like that fast?
Yeah. Out with the laundry. Okay, he's back. All right, he's back. Go ahead, Trey.
I was about to say, I got muted. What's up with that?
Yeah.
Hey.
I get it. Yeah. So I mean, I'm just generally working your general 9 to 5, usually 8 to 6 full time standard.
So you have all that extra time either before. I mean, it's tough before and then after, and you have, you work with probably a lot of other affluent people, and you can sell this concept of multifamily, real estate, and it gives you, without a doubt, keeping your day job is huge because that's your connections, that's your resource, that's where you're going to get most of your equity. So, I mean, I say it's game on for you, but keep your job.
Yeah, it makes sense. Wasn't planning on leaving yet. I mean, I want to leave it eventually, but I want to transition from here to there. And I work with a lot of big companies, and so yeah, I hadn't even thought about my clients as a potential investors. Really, I work for some really huge companies, so that's a great idea.
Boom. There you go, man. I mean, that's it. And man, if you can tap a network like Tyson has done, like Hamont has done, like Iggy has done, I mean, it's extraordinary. Okay. Okay. Will we get a sample data for presentation? Yeah, Joanne, that deal I just presented is one you can use as a sample, okay? The one I just presented. Okay, Jamie, I don't know how to pronounce the last name. CHR, you got it already? All right, thank you. Damn, you're good. Okay, Jamie.
Good afternoon. Can you guys hear me?
Yep.
Yay. All right, guys, we're coming first-time callers from Central Texas. My question is, I'm actually here with my husband, by the way. We're a great team here. So Hillary, really resonate with all your story you said about starting. I think capital raising is probably where we're going to have to begin as well, to learn and add value. So my question is, when someone, you have someone who wants to contribute funds, what is the process to get their money legally? And I guess kind of the part two of that would be, are you just banking leads as you go if you don't have a current deal you're working on?
Great question. Great questions, actually. Phenomenal questions.
Yeah.
Okay, who wants to go for Hillary? You want to respond
Yeah,
first?
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you had some million-dollar questions in there. I guess the first thing, which is really a tough thing, is getting soft commitments when you don't have a deal. And that is kind of what you have to do to be able to go talk to a team and say, hey, I can raise capital for your deal. I think it's kind of dangerous to say, hey, I have some high net worth friends. I could probably get some of them to invest, if you've never even talked to them about real estate. Or even in my case, I just felt like I really had to get them to say, I would invest with you 50K or 100K or whatever it is. So that was my first step, was talking to them. Like I said, I sent out a message, but then I also went and talked to people in person. I went to their house, or I got on a Zoom with them, and I showed them a sample deal, which I got from another warrior. And that deal, I think, had a minimum of 50K, which anymore, that's the minimum. That's the lowest minimum I'm seeing anymore. Now it's more like 75K or 100K minimum for investing in a deal. So I talk to the person about it and just say, hey, is that something you're interested in? And if they say yes, then you say, how much do you think like you would want to invest at this time, or what are you comfortable with? Are you something like that?
Walk through the logistics as well. Okay, guys, let me tell you, in this business, you will use what's called a portal. Okay, and that's how you manage your investors. That's how you ultimately will communicate with them. That's how you'll get them their K1s at the end of, but that's how they're able to go in and get themselves accredited. And pretty much all the warriors use a portal called Cash Flow Portal. Do you use that one, Hillary? Or do you use
I
something
use
else?
that one for most deals, and also
Okay.
Syndication Pro.
So we used to use Syndication Pro.
Yeah.
I would recommend Cash Flow Portal. Candidly, it's much better than Syndication Pro. Morelli, let's get them a link to Cash Flow Portal, because you can actually register on there even if you don't have a deal and start getting acclimated to how it works. And I totally answered the question for you, Hillary. But that's basically what you do, is you have them register on your portal, whatever it is. Tim, you want to go ahead and add something there? Go ahead.
Yeah, well, yeah, you need a CRM of some point, right? You
Oh,
track
CRM.
everybody.
That was next. Thank you. That was next.
Right.
Yep.
And customer relations management software.
Yeah, it's client relations software. And I'm sorry to interrupt here, but you guys don't even know this. Craig just created an incredible CRM that ties into the MFA software. He's going to present it at the Warrior event in May, and it is kick ass. I mean, it's really good. Now, there's lots of CRMs out there. We use HubSpot. We spend thousands of dollars a month on HubSpot. Anybody else use HubSpot? Anybody else on the call use HubSpot? You do, Hillary? Oh yeah, several. What do you use, Tim?
Active Campaign.
Active Campaign's very good as well. But
a lot of
I can't wait for you.
Been using Go High Level as well lately.
Oh, yep. I've heard good things about that. But I can't wait for you guys to see his. Craig's is just phenomenal. It'll build the websites for him, everything. It's just extraordinary.
Cool.
Yeah.
I'd piggyback a little bit more on that question to Jamie. And I guess to Trey was, it takes time, right? You want to start letting people know, and things can snowball, but it's relationship based, and you need to have the conversations, let them know what you're doing, and educate them. And the sooner you start, the better.
That's right. Listen, again, I told you guys this yesterday. I get the question all the time, should I raise money first or find a deal first? And the answer is always yes, okay? You're building these soft commitments, you're building relationships, you're adding value, you get them into your CRM so you continue to, CRM will tell you when you talked to them last, it can have all your communication in there, and that's how any sales organization works. They utilize what's called a CRM, and again, we've got an incredible one being presented to the Warriors at the Warrior event, but there's lots of them out there. HubSpot's fantastic too. Okay, anybody go direct to owners, or everybody on this panel does use brokers? Anybody do direct owner? Hamont? Okay, talk about it, Hamont.
Yeah,
Sorry,
so
Tom, I took your question. I should have let you ask it, Tom Boozer. Sorry about that. Okay.
So my partners that I met in the Warrior program, they do cold calling and they go direct to owners. Two of my properties, one in Tennessee, one in Iowa, we got those through direct to owner communication. It took a while, couple of months of negotiation, convincing, but eventually we got those properties.
Fantastic. All right, guys, I just looked at the time. We got to move on. Thank you, guys. It's so blessed to see some of you I haven't seen in a while, and I'm sure I'll see you in the end of May and here in Sarasota. I love you guys. Thank you for taking time. Give them a big hand, please.
So one other quick thing. We encounter so many people that are frankly frustrated. You know, they're looking in the mirror and they're frustrated that they haven't been able to escape the rat race. They haven't been able to build cash flow to the point where they're able to have financial and time freedom with their families. You know, and maybe they see other people buying real estate and creating, you know, incredible cash flow, and they think, well, it's just scary. You know, buying apartments is intimidating. And I get it. But see, that's why we created our Warrior Mentorship Program. They're our coaching students, and they've had extraordinary results. My students, I've been teaching about 5 years, and they own upwards of 140,000 units now that we know of, right? And we feel like it's just getting going. Now we're looking to grow this group and really take it to the next level. And honestly believe that the greatest transfer of wealth could be upon us right now with this current economic environment. Everything's going on sale. So we're looking for people who want to follow a proven framework, really like a blueprint or a map, literally step by step. And then they're able to leverage our systems and our incredible network to raise money and equity, to find deals and close those deals and build partnerships, really nationwide. So if you're interested in finding out more about how you can become more in our incredible network and take advantage of the unbelievable opportunities that are upon us, you can apply to my Warrior Mentorship Program by texting the word CRUSH to 72345, or you can go to mentorwithrod.com. And what we'll do is we'll set up a call so you can check us out and we can check you out and see if it's a fit. Now, again, you can go to mentorwithrod.com or text the word CRUSH to 72345 to apply, and we will speak soon.